really weird. But in my mind, I'm like, I got to get to have, maybe 10 pro fights. I'll be a pro for, 3-4 years, and then maybe I'll get to the UFC. And then it was almost immediate, coming out of college wrestling, being an NAI champ, it was really hard for me to get fights at a lower level. So I essentially was just taking whatever fight was offered to me. And my pro debut, I fought a guy who was 3-1. And then a couple of months later, I fought Roberto Traven, who had been in the UFC, was a 2-time ADCC champ, and I knocked him out. And then right after that, like a month and a half later, I fought Jim Hammertree, who was on the Ultimate Fighter and in the UFC. I submitted him, and then I fought Jeremiah Riggs, who's an Ultimate Fighter. So in a really short span, I fought like 4 guys that had done pretty well. So then I got called up to the UFC pretty quick. And, I turned pro in March, I guess that was March of 2009. In January of 2010, I was in the UFC. Wow. And I just wasn't ready, and I got there and I felt that, when I got backstage, I got called on short notice, and I always joke around about this. I was with my now wife, we were dating, and I was walking up to her apartment to watch a movie, and I had a Mountain Dew in my hand, and my coach calls, and he's like, "Hey, what are you doing next weekend?" This was like, I guess it was a Saturday night, and I was like, "I got no plans." He's like, "Well, you're fighting the UFC," and so like, "Oh no." So anyway, I got there, I was excited, but I just knew that, like, I wasn't ready. I'm a wrestler that can strike a little bit, and I like to do jiu-jitsu. And, I had Gerald Harris, my first fight, and it went well. I won the first round, and I just gassed so bad in the second and third. And then I had Jason McDonald next, and that unfortunate leg break with him. I got the win there, but it really, like, I didn't know what happened. I double legged him. He started screaming, right? And oh my gosh, he sprained his ankle and he's quitting. And I didn't know he broke his leg. And then I had Dan Miller next and got submitted. So it was over pretty quick. And then I knew, okay, I got to get the goals to get back there. And I had a manager that I don't necessarily think really was the best thing for me at the time. I got an offer from Bellator as soon as I got out of the UFC, and he turned it down without telling me. Wow. I was really upset about that.
Wow. So you went on to the AFC without even knowing you had an offer from Bellator. Wow.
Well, I found out, the goal, the UFC said if I can get 3 wins, they'll bring me back. But and Bellator offered me a fight, I would have taken it right there.
Sure.
Didn't find out about it after he'd already turned it down. They filled the slot with somebody else. And, then it took me forever to get 3 fights. And, I ended up winning the AFC title. I love that organization. I was had in the contract to defend it, and they just never called. I was calling my manager. I'm like, when am I going to defend this title? And then years later, I was training in California, and they contacted me and were basically like upset with me. And I didn't know what was going on. And I didn't realize they'd offered me a fight against another person that my manager managed, and he turned it down without telling me.
Wow.
So, I had that streak where it's really hard to make anything happen.
Yeah.
Frustrating bouncing around small organizations. But, I knew if I made it that early, I can make it back and I can do something big,
Sure.
Then